Hello my fellow book nerds. In this video I'm going to show you all the books that I'm reading for college, and I guess this will be like my fall reading list because it's a ton and I don't think I could fit, well, I don't know, I'm thinking about it, but it's a lot of reading, and so I thought, well, maybe this could just be part of my fall reading list, or like most of it, because it is a ton of reading. So let's get right into it. So I'm taking 4 classes. One doesn't matter because it has no reading in it. But the other 3 are creative writing, I said that weird, creative writing, American novel, and non-Western literature, which is a very fascinating class so far. So those 3, I have a ton of reading in each one, and I'm going to show you the books. Well, I could try to show you most of them. For creative writing, it's a lot of poetry and a lot of articles and a bunch of videos and not actual books, which is fascinating. And it's all online, so I don't have to purchase anything, which I'm grateful for because those books can be expensive. So I probably won't mention that one much. But the other ones, there's a bunch of reading and a bunch of books. So let's get into it. So before we get into them, please like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell down below so you can get notified whenever I post a video about books. And also please watch this till the end because that does really help my channel. So let's get right into the list. So American novel it's about American novels, and it's completely fascinating. And you start off in the beginning. Like, I started reading journal entries and stuff by like John Smith, something, I can't remember his full name, John Winthrop, and a bunch of like other people that I can't completely remember their names, because after you read so many like writings from people, they kind of just mix them together. But it's still fine. It's fine, right? It's fine. But also, I'm reading a bunch of classics, so kind of like The Adventures of Tom Sawyer I have to read. I've never read it before. I think I had it on one of my lists back in the day, but I just didn't read it. So I get to read this book, and I also get to read The Scarlet Letter, which, no, I never read this one. I had it, I think I took it from high school. I'm honestly pretty sure I took it from my high school. I didn't mean to. I think I brought it home to read, and I just never took it back. So yeah, this is a gift from them, I guess. So I get to read this one too, and I didn't have to buy it. And there's a bunch of other ones that I have not purchased. So like, let me get the list. Ow. Whew. That's hard. Let's see. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh no, momento, por favor. Okay. So honestly, I'm not sure if these are poems or if they are books. I'm guessing they're mostly books because they're under. I'm guessing they're mostly books. Okay, like The Strangeness of Beauty. That one sounds so fascinating, and I was wondering if I should purchase these or if I should like rent them or something, because sometimes that's cheaper. I'm buying all of these because I just want to keep them and possibly reread them, because these are like pretty much classics and good books that you should read. But I'm not into classics, like I said earlier in like last week's video, but ignore that. But some of these sound really good, and I hope they are really good. Pale Fire, Absalon. I heard that one's really good as well. My Antonia, Ethan Frome, Washington Square, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, who hasn't heard of that one. Benito Sereno, The Scarlet Letter, Hope Leslie, and The Coquette. So those are all the books for the American novel. And the teacher I have is really good. And okay, now with online schooling and all that, I've done it for a while, but I think teachers are getting lazy. I don't know, because like with the non-Western literature, I'm just reading and writing. That's all I'm doing. The teacher just scores my stuff. She doesn't really teach me anything. Like, there's nothing that she's teaching me. So it's kind of weird, I think. I don't know. I feel like that it needs to have more. So if I paid $1,000 for this, I feel like there should be more that I'm learning about. But I don't know. The readings are interesting, so I'm just keeping it at that. But like the American novel one is really good. This he writes out what his thoughts are on all of this, and then he asks us our thoughts. And it is self-paced, so I love that even more. But overall, I do like American novel more than non-Western literature. And the stories in themselves, I don't know which one I like more yet. I think I'm gonna like non-Western literature more because it's so fascinating. Like, you're just learning so much about different cultures. So the stories are awesome and they're very in depth. Like, we just did African literature, and that one was really, really good, and I'll tell you those stories. But besides that, the American novel is good, and you should try these books. You should read these books too. Or, I mean, it's up to you. They're good though. I'll let y'all know when I actually read all of them. Okay, now for non-Western literature. Since this class was a bit earlier, I do have all the books, and there are a lot. So starting off with post-colonialism. I didn't really like it. I read 3 chapters and I was kind of annoyed with the thoughts and all that. But it's pretty good because it actually kind of teaches you about post-colonialism, but it does it with stories instead of just talking about it. So I guess that's why it's a little bit better. It's by Robert J.C. Young, but I don't agree with it. But besides that, it was like a good read, but I don't agree with it. Does that make sense? Okay. An analysis of a case of hysteria by Sigmund Freud. This is fascinating. I did not think I would get into this type of reading, but like he's a psychologist, right? So I'm surprised that this is in non-Western literature. So I'm very happy to start reading from him. I've been wanting to read some of his books for some time. I started liking him because of Jordan Peterson. He started mentioning him, so I kind of wanted to get into that literature. Okay, so pretty much I bought the whole set of, what are they called? The Norton Anthology. So this is all short stories, poems about different, cultures and literature from all these places. So it's insane. Like, this one was the African, I believe, the module of African literature, and it was fascinating. The stories in themselves were good. My favorite one was by I can't say his name, dude. Like, these are hard. Like, look, if you can say his name, good for you. But I cannot. And the story was just pretty much how he wrote it, which is very fascinating. But how, when he was a kid, he was kidnapped and he was brought into slavery from Africa and then to the US and then to Europe, and from there he learned how to write, he learned how to read, and he became very well spoken and very well written, and he was able to become a writer and write his stories and write other people's stories, and it's completely fascinating. So I recommend that story. I showed you the name. I'm not going to be able to tell you. It's nope, I'm not even trying. Nope. But that's the first one, and that's book volume E. I think there's up to F, I believe. Volume F. This is the first one we read. Oh no, this is not the first one we read. This is also some of the African stories. I don't understand the order of these books. I really don't. But the writer, it's called Chike School's Days, and that one was okay. It was interesting. Two Sisters, that one was fascinating, about two sisters who, it's like modern day Ghana, and they're trying to figure out pretty much how they're living life now and what's allowed in their morality. It's very interesting. Volume B, haven't got to this one yet. I don't know what it is today. I didn't look through all of them. I don't want to. Volume C, want to look. And I bought these secondhand, which is a very good idea because new they would have cost me a ton, but with all these books cost me about $60. And volume D, I don't know if there's one missing. I know there is. I don't know where it's at. That's what I'm reading now. and that is Chinese literature, and that one's fascinating. But I believe those are all the books. It's a lot of books. It is too much reading, and at least I'm not reading like everything in these books. I mean, eventually with time I'll read this book, but for a semester I don't think I'll read all of them. But they are fascinating, and trying to decipher what they're teaching you and what the author wanted to show you, and pretty much what they wanted you to see is very fascinating. And I really do wish that class, the non-Western literature, had a bit more teaching in it. It really doesn't. I really hate that. But this video is not for complaining. This is for telling you what I'm reading. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to be reading for the semester. So it's pretty much fall and winter. So I think that's enough reading for fall and winter, and plus all the books, all the writings for creative writing. So that's going to be interesting as well. Yeah. But anywho, I did finish 2 books, and it was Making Sense of Your World. Good job. It was Making Sense of Your World. I finally finished this one this morning, which I was excited about, and also finished Story Engineering. So they're really good books. I highly recommend it, especially this one for like moral, spiritual stuff, and this one if you want to become a writer, because it's really good. Not just writing, but also any form of storytelling. I would recommend it for anything. But okay, those are all the books. I know it was kind of weirdness, like, since I don't have all the books and I haven't read all of them, but I wanted to show you what I am reading, and so you'll kind of know what I'm talking about in future videos. So yeah, so thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it and subscribe down below so you can get updated whenever I upload a video about books. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye guys.